quick update about nursing school and the classes that I'm taking, and several questions that I've received from many people, and also like some of the most common questions that I see online, especially for the students that are entering. So I'm just trying to help somebody out by making this video and let you guys know what nursing school is all about. So I am taking a total of 4 lecture classes and 1 clinical site. Our clinical site is mainly going to a hospital and doing anything that the hospital requires us to do, and we need to complete a certain amount of hours. So I am super excited because I start that next week, and I don't have any clinical experience yet, but I will make a video about that hopefully once I go for like the 3rd time, and I can give you guys some experience of what I've done. One of the classes that I'm taking is Adult Care 1, and that's the one that's matched up with my clinical. That class is the class that makes you think critically the most, because the questions, just different types of scenario questions, and to me that's personally the hardest class that I have, just because I'm not used to answering a scenario based question. But I have a B in the class, and I am happy with that because honestly it is one of the harder classes. And so obviously the more you practice these questions, the better you'll get at them. So it's not just about, oh, what's the definition of health or what's the definition of exercise. No, it's nothing like that. You have to apply what you've learned and what you've been studying in order to answer the question appropriately. So that's what I think is the most difficult thing. So another thing about this class is most of the time there are 2 answers that are correct. However, one is better than the other by one simple thing. So that could be a bit challenging. However, you just have to just think as best as you can and just try to answer it. Another class that I'm taking is called Health Assessment. Health Assessment to me is very interesting because we also have lab with that, and it's very hands-on. Like, you get to take the blood pressure, the vital signs, listen to the heart sounds. So that is obviously very, very interesting. And since I was a previous health major, like, I'm now applying everything that I learned over the years in this one class. Obviously everything, but in particular this health assessment class. So it's very awesome to see how everything correlates and how you can apply it. This class to me is very straightforward. You do have to think critically because there are some scenarios, but it's not as much as adult care. The 3rd class that I'm taking is Pharmacology, as others know it. Our school has a different way of calling it, but it is pretty much pharmacology. And this is all drugs, all the types of drugs that I will be administering to my patients. So I'm learning all sorts of things. You have to learn what drugs you can't give with other drugs because there's several interactions. You have to know if the patient's allergic to anything, penicillin. There's just a broad amount of drugs that you have to learn. But once again, it's very interesting to me because you get to see how the human body reacts to these types of drugs. And okay, so the 4th class that I have is Pathophysiology. This class is mainly focused on anything that goes wrong. That's how I like to put it. Anything that goes wrong with the patient. So such as hypoxia, such as ischemia, anything that you can think of with any of our body systems that goes wrong, this is the class. It's a very straightforward class. It could be a bit challenging. Like, I remember going in there the first time lecture and coming out clueless because I was like, this is like biology, microbiology, and chemistry on steroids. All 3 of those on steroids. But once again, as you study it, the better you get at understanding it. So it's very interesting. You get to see how one thing leads to another, and it's just a whole cycle. All of it is pretty much cycles. There's one thing that I really want to talk about, and it's called Dosage and Solutions exam. And it's one test where you have to get 100% in order to move on and attend your clinical site and things like that. And this test for me was the most challenging just the pressure that I had about making that 100% was just like overwhelming. You do get 3 tries, but it is extremely overwhelming. Like, I have never had to make 100 on an exam before, but I need to make 100 on this or I don't pass. And so finally, yes, I did make the 100, and I was extremely excited because I was like, oh, I can breathe now. So much weight taken off my shoulders. And that's pretty much what it was. And it's like calculating how much IV you would run on the patient or how many tablets you would give the patient. But it is a process and be a little stressful. Okay, so the number one question that I always get from anybody is nursing school hard? So yes, but no. The reason I say yes is because you are entering something totally new. You are getting out of your comfort zone. You are sacrificing things, time management skills, organizing everything. So yes, it could be hard in adjusting to those types of things. But no, because if you truly love nursing and you really want to be a nurse, you find everything that your professors are teaching you extremely interesting, no matter how hard it is. Like, for example, I used that patho class. It was hard the first day, but once I studied it and went over, and I was like, wow, this is truly interesting, like what the human body can do, how the human body adapts to everything. So no, in the sense that you really have to like it in order to do it. It's a yes but no answer. Another thing is sacrifices. I mentioned this earlier, and yes, nursing school does make you sacrifice certain things. For example, family time. So I would go out with my family, like anywhere that would go, like family gatherings or go out to eat on Sundays. But that's no longer the case because now I have nursing school and I have to study in order to do well in my classes. So yes, you do have to sacrifice part of your time with your family or your significant other, anything like that. And if you have kids, that's also involved. And props to all the people that are in nursing school and have kids, because that's a tough one. that's tough, but shout out to you guys. Like I say, it's not impossible. So do I have to study? Yes, you'll have to study, and studying will be majority of your life. I say you eat, poop, and sleep studying. Why? Because you eat, you're probably studying a PowerPoint, or you're listening to a lecture, or you're going over questions. You go to the bathroom, same thing, you're thinking about what you just studied. You're sleeping, you probably have dreams about what you've been studying. It's happened to me like several times. Because we had 4 back-to-back tests. We had one exam on Wednesday, another on Friday, then we had one on Monday, and we had one on Tuesday. So I was studying back-to-back to back-to-back. Like, I did not have any free time, like, that entire weekend. But it was definitely worth it because I did pretty well. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I can give anyone that's entering nursing school is do not compare yourself to others. And this goes just overall in life. Like, do not compare yourself to another person. That is one of the worst things that you can do, because everybody is different. Everybody has their own goals. Everybody's taking their own path, no matter what that is, and you have to stay focused on your path only. Like, do not worry about what your friend is getting in this class. Do not worry about what your other friend is doing in life. No, you do you. You do you, boo. And I've always said it, because it truly helps when you're just focused on your life and you know what your goals are. Everybody's goals are different, and especially in nursing school, like, there's 120 of us. And it's very easy to compare yourself because there's only a limited amount and everybody pretty much knows everybody. But that's the last thing you have to do. You cannot compare yourself to anybody. You do you. Make it to the end. Another piece of advice that I could also give is find at least one day of the week to give time to yourself. because since it is a lot of studying, it is a lot of stress. Studying equals stress. That's just the way it is. So find at least one time, one day of the week where you are just focused on you, whether that be working out to relieve the stress, go shopping, get your nails done, even going out for a walk or for a run outdoors would truly, truly help. So this does conclude my video. I know this was a short one, but I just really wanted to give some information to anybody that's thinking about nursing school or anything like that. And if you do have any questions, please comment them below. I am trying to help out as many people as I can. And I do know several people that are entering in the fall. So I'm trying to mainly help out those people because I know when I was about to enter, I had so many questions. But I will be doing more update videos on nursing because obviously that's what I'm focused on now.